Hey everyone, today I'm going to give you a really quick run through on how to make this earth plate using our Spolvero stencils. Here are all the supplies you'll need in the paint colors. You might want to pause this and write it down because we're going to jump right in. So the first step is to take your Spolvero stencil and center it on your piece. Grab the pouncer and get a little bit of graphite on there, and then you're just going to rub the pouncer over the stencil so that the graphite is falling through the holes of the stencil. And you want to make sure you hold it in place so that it doesn't scooch around on the plate and you get a nice clean design. So when you remove the stencil, it should look something like this. And then we're going to take our tissue paper stencil and line that up with the circle from the Spolvero stencil, and then take your marker and trace those lines. So your tissue paper stencil will probably just be pencil. I've used mine a time or two before, so that's why mine has marker on it already, but just trace out those lines. And then when you remove the stencil, it should look something like this. So now you should be able to see both designs on your piece, and we're going to get started on filling it in. You guys might want to take a pencil and mark out which sections are supposed to be which colors. I didn't do that because I've painted this once or twice before, but it might make it a little less complicated. So take your first color, which is key lime pie, and squeeze a little bit of paint out into the palette just to make sure that there's no other color in the tip and that it's flowing out really nicely. And then we're just going to start filling it in by squeezing the paint out and sort of letting it follow the Funwriter tip almost. And you want to make an outline and then squeeze the paint in to fill it all in, and it should make one smooth, nice, even layer, almost like icing a cookie, like royal icing. And that's basically the technique. So you just go around and fill in the corresponding colors and pieces of each design, and you'll sort of see it start to take shape after a while. So this is the same technique throughout the entire portion of this project. The whole Spolvero design is painted like this. So I'm just going to let this play out a little bit so you guys can see how all the colors are going down, like what order they're going down in, and then you can sort of start to see it come alive. Each section I do the green first, and then I work on the blue for that section just so I don't get lost. It can get a little bit confusing, which is why I definitely recommend marking out what sections are supposed to be which colors so you don't have any whoopsies. So here we go. I'm going to let this play out, and then we'll touch base when we get to the black portion. So here's what it should look like when you've filled in all the sections. Now we're going to grab the black Funwriter and do the heavy black outline around the circle, and it's basically the same technique. You're just squeezing the paint out of the bottle and sort of pushing it around. I do the inside circle first and then the outside circle so both edges are nice and clean. Then you're going to grab your liner brush and get that loaded with some black paint and outline the shapes of the continents that we've created by painting the sections in different colors. You can outline it first with a pencil if you'd like, but you can just go for it and outline it with the black paint, whatever is easier for you. So I'm going to let this play out for a second so you guys can see how the paint goes down and how I outline the shapes, and then we'll do the black dashes around the design. So we're going to continue using our liner brush, and we want to get it nice and loaded, and we're going to paint these sort of funky little dashy lines all around the outside of the design. So you can see that you want to load your brush after every dash to keep the size really nice and consistent. Other than that, there's no mathematics to this. It's just a bunch of lines that fit together. You can make them short, long, big, small, whatever you want, however they all fit together. And then you're going to take your pencil and sketch out the letters on the center of the platter. And then you're going to grab your black fun writer and squeeze the paint out to paint the letters on the platter. A couple of tips is you don't want to hold the fun writer totally vertically. You want it to sort of be at an angle, and you definitely want to use as little pressure as possible. You are definitely still going to have to touch the tip of the fun writer to the piece, but the lighter you can be with your hand, the better and the easier that the paint is going to flow out. Try to control how hard you're squeezing it. You obviously don't want it to be really goopy and runny, but you want it to be, solid enough that you're going to see it. So those are some tips for writing. Good luck. And that's your Earth Spolvero in 6 minutes. Thanks for watching.